Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new solo type experience. I have a deck of cards inside of here to keep the light that's up above from shining and reflecting off this, because without that, oh boy, I've only one place in here I can record, and there's a ceiling light directly above, which is why you occasionally see the shadow from my PlayStation camera here. But this is Drifter. It is a solo Wild West adventure. Now, I'm going to have to do it a little bit differently than it might normally be, because I don't have a ton of room. And you need your character sheet, and you need these other tracking sheets for opponents and partners, and you also have this table that tells you the events and combat and skill testing, and then this map. This is a two-sided map. There's also a printed version of it that is full size, but I've got even less room on my table for that. So I'm going to be using this pen here to write on a lot of these things because they will erase, because there's going to be a lot of movement and doing things and writing stuff, and because I have to move my paper around a lot, instead of marking on here where I am, each of these hexes has a little code on them on the top, like 14.6, 14.7, 14.8, like that. We will record that on this sheet of paper where we are, so that we can keep track of where we are and what's going. The general idea behind the game is you are supposed to make $300 as a drifter in the old Wild West and not die. And there's plenty of opportunities to die, and there's plenty of opportunities to make money and have lots of adventure along the way. Now, I did read the rules at the very beginning, because they start off at section R101, and then they talk about the characters. And then the game actually starts when you get out of the R section, and you get into however many pages it is. Now we're into the events. E01. And the first thing that E01 tells you to do is go read R101. So really quick, and hopefully I'll have a time thing, we're just going to quickly go over these rule things here and then jump right in. We start here. It's just when you're traveling along on the map, you can't leave the map, is one of the biggest things. And there's character creation. It's got all these skills and wounds, and you're supposed to track all of these things with the various tracking device. But you start with no wounds, which I suppose would make sense. And then when you keep working your way down until dead, if you ever get dead. Finesse, which is right there underneath health, is just your physical skills. Your hunch is your mental skills. Your karma, wherever that happens to be, karma represents your amount of luck. You've got a bounty suit, which is how hunted you are by the law. There's the money tracker for money, your weapons tracker. There's equipment, which is going to be fun to write down with this pencil. Well, this here. There are points of interest where you write down the hex. And then there are opponents' wound levels, which are over here on these. They all have their, from none to light to medium to heavy to debilitating to dead. Head on over. Then there's actions. There's always an action. No matter what you do, there will always be an event. You always have one action and one event. And the actions are, in any hex you can travel, heal, or part ways with a partner. Only in certain type of hexes there are points of interest and enter a town, and in combat you can only attempt to flee combat. And then of course it tells you how to travel to a hex, which is just you move, and then you roll for the random event using the random event table under the column based on your current bounty suit. And then you can heal part ways. There's the points of interest that you can write down. Entering towns, the shops and what's available and what happens. Saloons, a train station for traveling. It tells you how to flee. It tells you how to do combat. And we'll do all of these things when we get there. Skill tests and all of these things that happens. Military prisons, partnerships, and then the event begins. So then when we're done, you wake up on solid ground to a combination of hazy, fragmented flashes of empty whiskey bottles, bloody chins, random saloons, echoes of pistol shots, and whooping at the night sky. You don't know where you are or how you got here, but you aren't too worried about it. This isn't the first time you blanked out and ended up in God knows where. You just thank your lucky stars it isn't a jail cell. So there we are. Now we determine which hex we start with, and then we're going to write that down. So it takes a D6. Let me get my dice table that I forgot, not dice table, let me get my dice tower that I had forgotten to grab before that happens to actually have some dice in it already. Son of a gun. Where is the other one? There we are. Okay, we roll a D6 to determine where we are. Which hex? 4, 3, 7. So we are going to go to this paper and we're going to write down our location as 3, 7. And 3, 7 is this square right here. This is 3, 7. You can't see it at that angle. There we go. It's kind of just nothing really there. It kind of looks like mountains. I wake up in the mountains on 3, 7. Well, it's not mountains. It's kind of a whooshly thing. Looks like just desert between mountains, dark desert lands. So that's okay. And then you gently groan, shake off your dusty hat, climb aboard your horse, and set off to seek your destiny in the Wild West. So, yep, we start off there, and now we begin adventuring. So we choose an action from R101A, which is right here. Well, since we ain't got nothing, and we sort of need something, and we're out here in the middle of nowhere, let's try heading up this direction into the forestry. That's better than the mountains, I would say. So we'll go into 3, 6, and then we'll work from there. So we are going to travel to 3, 6. And then, of course, as it says, when you travel to a new hex, you move your token, and then you roll on the event under the column based on your current bounty suit. Now, if we go back into our bounty suit, there are 5 different bounty suits. There's the X, the heart, the diamond, the X, club, diamond, heart, and spade. Highest is spade and lowest is X. It can go up and down. Oh, now we have to roll that D4 to determine our bounty. Okay, now we see. With a 4. Uh-oh. Oh, we have an X on our bounty. So that's good. Bingo. We have no bounty, and I can handle that. You know what? I sort of do need to do these other things, like finesse. It depends on your wound level. Your hunch. Oh, that one comes up with another 4, oddly enough. I'm trying to get these dice out of here. That still comes up with a 4, so my hunch is 4. Your karma is 2. your bounty suit, your money tracker. Now roll a d10 on the loot table on the table sheet under X to see if you start with any money. Okay, so we bring out the combat sheet. And then we look under the loot table under X. Roll a d10. Oh, it's a 10. On the X, we end up with queen. What does a queen mean? It doesn't really talk about that one. A loot suit determines what table you roll under. On the table sheet, you roll on their loot suit to determine if you find any money. No limit, you have this stuff. Now roll a d10 to determine if you start with any money. And it comes up with a Q. I actually have no idea what that Q means. Oh, there's more. Roll again. Well, no. For a Q, For Q, King, and Ace, roll on D2 loot event. Okay. Well, let's re-roll then. Oh, D2, which is you rolled just a 6? Okay. We're learning. And we rolled a Q, so, and that's a 4, so it's E009. Oh, wow. Okay, immediately we go to E009, and we check that out. For our loot, I probably should have done that before. I, hopefully, am not too foolish. E009. Where is my 9? Oh, you find a knife. If you keep the knife, add it to your weapons tracking sheet. Okay. I find a knife. Sure. Equipment. Knife. See if it says anything else about like weapons. Fist and pistol. Yeah. Always have a suit. How powerful the weapons in. So I need to check that E09 again because I did not write down the suit of that. It is a spade? No, that's a club? Okay, so it's got a club. Actually, I can put that here. We'll go knife, and it's a club. So we take this bit of tissue, and we get rid of that. So bingo. Okay. Well, that was actually our money. Equipment that we find. Okay, now I've actually got the character done. That's a good thing. I can handle that. So let's head back to E01 or E00, whichever the heck it was to begin. And then we went to 3-6. Okay, we rolled for money, but now is where we do this. Now we've got to see exactly how this chart here works, because this is the index. Let's make sure we're doing this correctly for moving. I mean, it isn't going to hurt to double check. This is the first time we're doing it. We're learning how it moves. We're learning how it moves. We're learning how it all happens. Travel. Move to any adjacent hex, which is, moved into the new hex roll for using the event table. Table A on the table sheet. Okay. We don't use the index, we use the table sheet. And since we are at X, we roll, a D100 actually. Well, good thing I've got that all available. It doesn't even say you're supposed to have that, but here we go. With a 66, with no bounty, in hex 3-6, that foresty type place, we check out E146. So in this hexa here, we are going to go check out E146. That's a heck of a distance. Wow, I was real close. I was just one page away. E146, revenge. You are confronted by someone who wants revenge for a past event or offense. Roll a D10. Okay. Now this could be bad because on a 1, I die instantly. So let's take a look and see what horrific thing happens. It is a 9. You try to mollify the accuser. Attempt a hunch skill test. Table C, heart, hunch -2, and then it says R111 to tell you how to do all this. So on R111, skill test. There'll be times when you need to do a skill, difficulty, skill, event, paragraph, blah, blah, blah. Like there's the table, the difficulty, suit, and the skill. And then for an example, like a finesse test, table C, heart, finesse -1. Use table C, rolling under the heart, using finesse with a -1. Your current finesse is 4, told to negate 1, so get 3. Roll a d10, get a 5, add 3 for a total of 8. A result of pass. Okay, we have to roll a d10 and add that skill to it. So at 9, we have table C, hunch -2. So let's come to this table. Where did I put the tables? I lost them. Oh, here we are. Okay. So we look under table C, skill test. It is under heart. It is hunch -2. Oh boy, hunch -2, huh? My hunch is 4, thank goodness. So I add 2 to the D10 under C, heart. D10 plus 2, table C on a heart. I'm going to try and dissuade this person using my words to mollify the situation. And with a 6, no, we pass. Oh my gosh. Yeah, all the way up to 5, we fail. But as a 6 up, we pass. So we did pass the test. We have mollified this loser who wants, well, they're not necessarily a loser. I mean, they did want to hurt me, but not necessarily. But pass, go to roll result 10. And roll result 10. If you pay the $5, roll a d10, but that's not that. I don't understand exactly what that means. Am I supposed to immediately, okay. You talk your way out of it. They will join you as a partner for $5. I don't know that I necessarily want to do that, because on a roll of 1 on a d10, you die. Roll of 2 on a d10, they take all your money. But it could be handy to have a partner. I don't have $5 though, so we're going to pass. They have to leave. I got me no cash at all. That's special. So we had a bit of a fun time there. We were rallied up. We were hunted down by somebody who wanted revenge. But using our silver tongue, like the silver-tongued devil we are, we were able to talk them out of harming us, and we continue onward to the next day, or the next section anyway, which is where the actions table. That's what I'm looking for. Since we are in 3-6 right now, which is all sort of foresty looking. I mean, that might be just all forest anyway. Yeah, I think that's all forest no matter what. This shaded color here, because there's 3 trees in that one. There's only 1 tree in that one. No trees there, but that's all the same color. That looks foresty. Now that really dark one, that would definitely be like around mountains. So, but for right now, we are in 3-6. We're going to head over to 2-6 here, and we're going to check out 2-6 to see what we're finding. Which means we immediately roll to see where and what we are. We still have no bounty, thank goodness. So we just check on the X table for no bounty with a D100 to see what is in hex 2-6. I can speak English, I promise. My sincere apologies. 68. E60. So let us check E60 in hex 2-6. So E60. They're not all, there's several of them per page. But E60, if you're on a desert hex, not a hazard dex, desert hex, but no, we are not on a desert. Oh, the surrounding rivers are too high to cross today. I am forced to move to an adjacent hex. I'm not going to be on E6. I'm going to be on a different table. So I would be in E6, but I'm starting in 3, so let's check out 3-6 and then which direction I would go in, because we roll a D6. I end up in a 6, a northwest hex from 6, which is actually 4-6. So instead of being in 2-6, we are in 4-6, which is mountains. We had to get around that. So now we roll on the event table A. Oh, well, that was easy, wasn't it? It is still X. Roll on the event table. Huh. Immediately we do so. Yeah. So we still have the bounty of that, which is 0. And now we roll to see what event occurs in this new hex, which is 40. And a 40 is E153. I should write these down so I don't forget them. You know, like E153. I'm going to start writing those down like that. Okay, so E153. Let us find out where we is. 157, 153. Oh my gosh, up here in the mountains I come across an old cemetery. You pass through an old cemetery. Roll a D6. Well, with a 5, you camp for the night in the graveyard. You find it oddly prophetic. E95. So let's find out what prophetic thing happens in E95. I'll write that down too, just in case. So E95. Well, you know, I never did give my character a name here, did I? Well, as soon as I get this page, I'll figure it out. Moonlit Night. Our drifter. Is there even a room for a name? Not really. But her name is going to be Les Moore, the drifter. Lester Moore, the drifter. Yes, I did that on purpose. Les Moore, just for giggles. Okay, E95. You set up a camp in the wilderness. The night sky is illuminated by a bright moon with only the sound of crickets. Roll a D6. With a 1. If you have a partner, no. But if you don't, -2 karma, the night draws out your deepest fears. Well, that's special. Thank you. Appreciate that. Having 0 karma. Haven't even done anything. Just sleeping in a graveyard among all the deaders. Still, could be worse. Really. I mean, honestly, it could, so I'm not going to complain too loudly.